All right. Well, I think we're going to go into request topics now.
Okay.
I think that was the least amount of news we covered in one episode.
Probably.
All right.
We just talked about wrestling for 20 hours.
Pretty much, yeah.
Probably.
All right. Probably.
We'll figure it out in editing.
We're going to do...
Will? Heel.
This one comes from Fred. Strap in. It's a long one, as usual.
Isn't it?
The unintelligible fucks in Hollywood have done it again. They have taken the only true scary real horror movie, The Exorcist, and rebooted it as a TV show for broadcast television.
Fuck off, the only true horror movie.
Gone are the characters who made the original a classic. No Regan, no Father Marin, and they have been replaced by motherfucking Gina Davis. Fucking Gina Davis from A League of Her Own, who was famous back in 1992. She looks like someone gave Botox facial injections to a channel catfish. The show is a fucking blithering disgrace. My question is, why would they do this? Why would they do this again? All the reboots, whether it's movies or television, fail. Rush Hour television show failed. Limitless television show, I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, it was not. It wasn't awful, but it did fail.
It
failed. Point Break remake failed. Ghostbusters miserably failed. And then they called you sexist and racist for not liking it.
It did not miserably fail. No one cared about it.
Yes. Yeah.
It
Why?
got watched it and no one heard about it again.
It came out on DVD and nobody noticed.
Yeah.
Why? Why is this being done by Hollywood? I sit down to watch television now and see MacGyver reboots, Lethal Weapon reboot, and now Exorcist reboot, and I begin to shake like a dog shitting peach seeds with anger. Even after the immense financial failure that has come with reboot beloved franchises, why is this continuing to be done? Why are they taking pleasure in ruining what was great?
Well, I'll tell you why they're doing it, because there are movies that make tons of money. Let's not forget the Dread remake was actually quite good.
I call that the fix, actually. They're like, we're gonna fix this. we're gonna do it the way it should have been done.
Exactly. That's how it goes sometimes, though. It's like,
but see, that's
remakes are done, and then it's like, that was really good. We should make a remake of this, and it's really shit.
Well, that's a good instance of a remake that was done with care and attention.
Yeah.
Now, all the stuff that's coming out now is just because they realize the nostalgia train's hot.
Duh.
And it's easy as shit just to do something that's already been done over again. And then they'll have, they'll give the new director that's doing it that might be his first shot, or he's like, oh, I'm a huge Power Rangers fan, for example. And they're like, we'll give you creative liberties. You go ahead, you do whatever you want.
I really wish that they just had the powers without the suits so they can just do it, without the suits, man.
Yeah, and that's that guy's...
All they knew really was martial arts.
And that's that guy's pitch. And then here's the CEO in the office. So you give me that pitch, I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. And they're just sitting there like, 100 million, 200 million.
I get where he's coming from, but I don't believe that these studios are just out to make shit. I think they actually think this stuff's going to make them money. It just doesn't work out. Like Limitless, the show, ended up lasting, I guess, one season. I actually liked. I thought it was a fun show because they didn't take it too seriously. They kind of had an episode entirely based around Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Everybody fucking does that, though. Everybody does that.
See, I have this theory, though, and they're not, I have this theory, and it could be way off the wall, but, there's not going to be any knowledge out there to support it, but I feel like...
Mace Windu's dead?
No. I feel like...
He's dead.
Hollywood is kind of taking a page from Uwe Boll's book where they're finding that loophole where, they'll make a movie, and if it bombs, they can claim it as a failure and get that money back. So that way they're not really getting hurt. Because they're pumping this shit out like there is no recourse for it.
I mean, there is a new Resident Evil coming out.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that's what I mean.
Died in that making.
They're pumping out movies where people are like, I'm not going to go see this. So nobody's asking for this shit. So there has to be a reason where they're like, we're just going to do this because there's a no fail to it. And that's my theory.
And my reasoning behind what I said is that not everything that they're doing they believe is going to end up being shit, is because there are shows that they've rebooted that have gone on and been successful. Hawaii 5-0 was a show that they brought back. I think it's been on for like 10 years now since they brought it back. It's pretty.
I don't think it's been on that long. I think it's been like 3, 4.
It's been on quite a while though. There's been other times too where they brought stuff back and did better with it. Battlestar Galactica came back and was much more successful.
Oh shit! It came out in 2010. 6 years.
So I mean, it's been done before, but I feel like they're just throwing shit against the wall to see what sticks. I agree with that. MacGyver thing, I held no expectations for. I was curious his opinion on Lethal Weapon. Exorcist does not make a show.
It really doesn't.
No.
No, because it'd be too long and drawn out, and there would be
too much of the same thing.
Yeah, there'd be absolutely no suspense or horror to that at all.
It's like, okay, the priest can come in, they're going to exorcise the demon, they're going to go to the next house.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
That's the formula. You win.
So that's the funny
Don't
thing.
take my money.
Out of like the whole movie of exorcising demons out of people franchises, The Exorcist is the only movie, in my opinion, that did it right anyway. Because like Exorcist 2 was
the
fucking.
Conjuring.
Well, that was a fever dream.
I didn't really care for The Conjuring.
I know Will likes the Conjuring series.
Oh wait, no, I keep getting this mixed up. I didn't see The Conjuring. I didn't care for Insidious. I keep getting this shit mixed up.
They came out around the same time.
And they're by the same director.
Yeah.
And they're all just one name. Like one word names.
Yeah, and like, this isn't anything new. Like, a few years ago, CBS was really guilty of this, where they would just come up with a show, it would do well, and then they would do like 30 versions of it. There was like 15 CSIs, there were several NCISs, there was...
Never died.
There was so many different variations on them.
How many versions of Law and Order are there?
But yeah, that was NBC doing the same damn thing. So it's either they're making 30 of the same show, or they're just rehashing shows from the 80s.
Yeah.
Another show that actually did pretty good was Hannibal.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, there's some of the creative choices they made that I didn't care for, because they tried to loop it into the movies, but it doesn't make any sense, because now FBI director, I can't remember his name, played by Lawrence Fishburne, is black when he's supposed to be white. Harry Lowndes is a woman when it should be a man, and Hannibal is a fucking like 6-something buff dude when he's supposed to be nowhere near that.
Yeah. One of the higher rated comedies on CBS right now is The Odd Couple.
Okay. What?
Yeah.
Why are they bringing that back again?
That's been back for a few years now, actually.
Stop
Matthew
it.
Perry and the guy he was in Reno 911.
Matthew Perry doesn't have anything to fucking do anymore.
What, the guy who played Dangle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He plays the Felix character.
Well,
yeah, it's actually...
When are they going to reboot Dharma and Greg?
Well, yeah, I mean, they can't do it with Thomas Gibson, obviously, who was completely removed from Criminal Minds, but...
Killed the man.
Well, yeah.
Kicked him right to death.
Yeah.
all right, well, we got 2 more, so we're going to move along here. This one comes from Brian Peterson. He says, this one goes out to Jason the Jedi. As another nerd who has read a lot of Star Wars books, I was wondering if you had read the new Jedi Order series.
I have not, but I've been wanting to.
Came out 10 to 15 years ago and was a long series written by a lot of authors. I became curious after Jason's anger with the Snoke/Sam Jackson theory, and now I want to read the books you were talking about. Thank you, Jason.
I have not read that one, but there's also some new ones that are out that are based on the current movies that give a lot of backstory into what people are speculating, because they just don't, I guess, know that the movies exist. I mean, the books exist. There's one based on Finn, which explains his whole New Order growing up life.
Was that the one it was like, it was almost like a mostly white covered book, and it had like the Millennium Falcon flying away from a...
remember the book cover. There's also one based on Princess
Aftermath
Leia.
is what I'm thinking. That came out like around the time Force Awakens was getting into theaters. It was called like Star Wars Aftermath.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
The series I'm talking about is written by basically one author, and he's doing ones based on characters like Finn, Poe Dameron, stuff like that. The Princess Leia one is actually pretty good. It takes place in between 6 and 7, in which she's transitioning from, leading the rebellion into trying to bring stability and whatnot. I don't know. It's a lot of good stories to read out there. I like most of the older stuff that involves the, the Knights of the Old Republic, basically.
Okay.
In which it's starting up of the Sith starting to slowly eradicate the Jedi.
It's funny when you talk about all these different storylines and stuff in the Star Wars universe that I had no clue about. I've never read any of this stuff.
So many.
And there's actually a top 10 list. What Culture, once again, name dropping, did a top 10 Sith Lords.
They're going to send you some.
And I had heard of 3 of them. And I'm just like, holy shit, there's this whole world that I don't know anything about when it comes to Star Wars.
There's a lot.
See, I'd like to know more about the Knights of Ren, because I think that's really interesting.
Suppose, like I brought up the other day, that someone wants to make... Who was it? He directed the movie.
What, Abrams?
Yeah, Abrams. He wants to make a Knights of Ren movie.
I think that'd be pretty cool. It's an interesting group.
Yeah, it would be fun to watch. But... I don't know. This if you want to read the books, I don't fucking message. Jesus Christ.
Blowing up now.
Sorry.
No. It's my phone went off earlier. My computer was making noises. Whatever. My dog barks. It's whatever.
Stuff happens.
It's the immersion.
I can't remember the name of it, but there's a very good one, which is one of my favorite, about how Boba Fett is not dead.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that thing is called the Bounty Hunters.
He fell into that desert vagina and died.
It's called a Starlight Pit, and it digests you for 100 years.
Dentata.
And he was rescued by Dengar, one of the other bounty hunters hired by Darth Vader, who was also actually in a group of bounty hunters with Boba Fett after Boba Fett had rescued him. So he was basically paying it forward.
Mm-hmm.
So he pulls him out of the Starlight Pit. So it's a good read. I mean, I just basically ruined it, but it's still it's a good time to get into. If you haven't read anything about the Clone Wars is a really good time as well. You find out about not good, but entertaining General Grievous, not asthmatic piece of shit robot General Grievous in the movies, as well as all the clone troopers. It's all good stuff. It's good stuff.
All right. Well, there you go.
I'll try to get some titles, and I'll bring them up later.
Okay, so our final one comes from Justin Hubler. He says, fantasy football. You guys in any leagues? Winning? Losing? I've never done fantasy football in my life.
I haven't. Will probably has, but this is what I like to do whenever anyone's talking about fantasy football at work. I always talk, especially certain people, because a couple people at work are Cowboys fans. I always love bringing up how Tony Romo died last year in the one game when I can't remember who hit him, but he got hit so bad he crumpled.
Oh yeah.
I was like, yeah, he died right there in the field. And they buried him right there. He was over.
It's like when you hit a spider and they just go.
Exactly, dude. It was such a nasty hit, and I was like, well, if you had him on your team, you just lost 600 points.
I've done fantasy stuff in the past I've done fantasy baseball, and I dabbled a little bit with fantasy football. And the thing that always tripped me out about fantasy football is the guys that get you the most points are usually guys you're not expecting, like a running back that nobody's heard of. All of a sudden
that
gets hot
all the time, apparently, because Shea or somebody would be like, I have him on my fucking bench, and he just would have gotten me 25 points.
Yeah. I think one of the most famous fantasy darlings of all time was a guy named Mike Allstott, who played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He had this one amazing season as a running back, and it came out of nowhere. And anybody who had him in fantasy, they just automatically won pretty much. It was just that ridiculous. But it's funny because I was actually talking to some guys about fantasy football not that long ago, and one of them actually took Tom Brady pretty high in their draft, and I'm thinking, wow, you took that pick and he's not even available for the first 4 games of the year. That's really banking there. But typically, when it comes to fantasy, you want to make sure you get a team with a good defense.
Defense wins fucking fantasy games.
Pretty early on, you want to grab that. Obviously, running backs are always good. And you just kind of rotate your quarterbacks a little bit. I'm not playing this year currently, but
now with your picks, do you tend to get people that you plan to trade off just for that reason, or do you specifically go to people that you feel would get you the points you need?
You start off going for guys that trend high, and then you just start taking best available. And then, like, even if it's not a position that you necessarily have need, then you at least have a valuable piece to move if you have to at some point.
Like chess.
Mm-hmm.
Except for sports nerds.
Yeah, in fantasy, like with sites like DraftKings and all those other sites, man, there's such a money in this.
Oh yeah, there's tons of money. But is there such a thing as high fantasy football? That's what I want to see.
Okay. All right, so then we'll end our show with our discussion topic then, which is favorite horror-themed cartoons.
I brought this in because I don't know if we've actually talked about it before as a specific category.
Special
category.
Because I know we've talked about stuff like the real Ghostbusters animated show.
That's a good fucking show.
And the episode with the boogeyman in the closet is probably one of the most well-known episodes.
I don't think I saw that.
Is that R. Kelly?
No. But that would be creepy as shit if R. Kelly was the boogeyman. It would explain a lot of things, though.
Why do you think he's going after young girls?
Yeah. But immediately
spooking the shit out of him.
Immediately, the first thing that comes to mind.
It's what happened. This is facts. R. Kelly assaulted that young lady.
It just goes off.
Look here. Okay, I'm not sitting here making up products like kitten mittens, okay? R. Kelly assaulted that young lady.
The fuse to his bomb is like the length of a gnat's dick.
She definitely wanted it, but it was definitely
There's no light and get back. It's just light and you're done.
Yeah.
It's like I tell people at work, it's 1 or 11. Yeah. There's no in between.
I have to say one of the first cartoons that comes to mind for me is All Real Monsters.
Oh, that's so good.
Okay.
I loved All Real Monsters when I was younger.
The teacher of that show left me with a lot of questions in my life. I'll just say that much. I'm like, his voice is sort of feminine, yet sort of masculine. He's wearing high heels. Mm-hmm. I don't know. His name is, very, middle ground. I can't make anything out of this.
I'd make a Final Fantasy VI joke, but you wouldn't get it.
Probably not.
No.
I was going to make a Saturday Night Live joke, but I'm not sure.
Who Go-Go is.
Oh, no.
I haven't felt... I hadn't had that kind of confusion since I saw the It's Pat skits from Saturday Night Live. So, But the three characters that they wrote for it, they were awesome. They were, like, perfect to guide you through all the crazy shit that was going on. And, I don't know, like... The only thing with that show is there aren't certain episodes that stick out in my mind. It was
I can't.
It's just a show.
Yeah.
I can't think of any specifics.
It was a show that, like, there was... Okay, I remember one. It was one where, like, Ickis was, he was losing his touch. Like, he couldn't scare people anymore.
Yeah, and they're trying to, like, get him to get back into scaring by doing what they do. And he's just like, that doesn't work.
Yeah, he, like, tried to scare this girl, and she's like, bunny! And, like, hugs him and stuff. And I'm just like... I was like, that's good, like, that's some decent writing. And then, and I remember another one where, like, Crumb got a pimple. And, like, you're like, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, I got a pimple, this sucks, it's ugly. But it's like, then he became the hottest kid in school because he had the pimple. And he's like, how do I make this bigger? And they're like, you pick at it, stupid.
Obviously Scooby-Doo.
That's not a horror.
I fucking hate Scooby-Doo.
Look, I liked the first run of Scooby-Doo, and then when they tried to do the ones where they're fucking meeting super fucking stars.
Super fucking stars.
And all this other dumb shit.
The Scooby-Doo mysteries with the Harlem Globetrotters and Don Knotts.
So fucking upset with those. It was like...
And like,
fuck off.
One of my favorite ones I remember is when they were with Batman. And they're in like a horror, like a horror theme, like, like a scare house or whatever. And there's all this like, woo, and Robin's like, holy whatever, Batman. What is that? It's like, that's just the work of talented thespians, Robin. Yeah. I was like, what kid's gonna be like, yeah, thespians? What's that?
And then they did, because after they did that, then they did the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo with Vincent Van Gogh, where they got Vincent Price to do the voice of this.
Didn't he die because of that movie?
No, he died because of Tim Burton.
No, he died. He died as Vincent Van Gogh. Scooby-Doo sucked his soul out to keep that show running for 30 years.
And then, yeah, I mean, Scooby-Doo, I agree with you. That first initial run of Scooby-Doo,
so
Where Are You? Is
and then they had that Scrappy-Doo and Dummy-Doo or whatever his name is.
Scooby-Dum.
Scooby-Dum. Yeah, that dumb shit.
And then, like, I always thought it was really weird, because then in this 13 Goes to Scooby-Doo, they threw in this character named Flim Flam. It was like his little kid, this little, like, Native American kid. It made no sense. Where did he come from?
Well, they always do dumb shit like that.
It made no fucking sense. And, like, Fred and Velma just disappeared. It was just Daphne.
Well, why wouldn't they?
It was just Daphne, Shaggy.
Velma got smart, because she's the only smart one. It was like, I'm done with this dumb
She's like,
shit.
I'm tired of losing my fucking glasses.
Yeah, she's like, I don't have time to go and get fucking contacts, because I'm always running around finding ghosts. I need time to myself, guys.
And then they tried to bring it back.
Hot.
Speaking of
hottest dork ever.
speaking of rebooting a franchise,
I hate all the
pup
new ones.
named Scooby-Doo.
That one wasn't as bad as some of the other ones. It was more tuned towards like that 90s era of like attitude, but
The theme song was horrible.
Oh yeah, of course. But the ideas of the show weren't bad.
Of course.
But if you go to like 2000s and on, where they like kind of went back to the original animations, but they tried to make it new, and then they slowly deteriorated into like, I don't know, Van Gogh-esque like abstract art. Is what the characters look like.
Well, now they're doing like Scooby-Doo at WrestleMania with the WWE.
No, they're doing Scooby-Doo and John Cena take over the world.
Yeah, yeah.
He's fucking smashing boulders like Chris Redfield.
Like Shaggy's out there dressed like a collegiate wrestler with like the ear thing and stuff, and I don't know.
I can't see.
I don't know if I'm the only one that remember this, but there was a cartoon. I think it was on Fox. And it was called Kid Dracula.
That sounds familiar to me. And it was like a real like midget, like Dracula, and he had a really huge head for no reason. Yeah, I didn't watch it.
And then there was Count Duckula. Yeah, that was a British cartoon by like the guys that did Danger Mouse.
I'm gonna bring up one here. The Beetlejuice cartoon.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I like that one actually. It was very
that
good.
was really good.
I actually might like that better than the movie. No,
come on.
I like the movie, but the cartoon is underrated, I think.
It certainly is.
I love that movie. Michael Keaton knocked that shit out the fucking park.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Michael Keaton always does good work.
I just love that moment where he, like at the end, where he's like waiting in hell, and he's got his number, it's like 1 million, so it's like, and the voodoo guy has 4, he's like, look there, it's Elvis! Like, he's like, well, looks like I'm next.
Yeah.
It's like, this is fucking perfect.
And they're talking about like possibly doing another Beetlejuice movie. I'd be so for that. I'd be so for that.
It's actually happening.
Yeah.
But the
cast, everything.
The cartoon was great because it actually felt like it picked up where the movie left off, because it was like their adventures, and she could go in and back and forth from the real world and his world and all that kind of stuff. Like, it was really cool.
Yeah.
So that was one I watched that every time it came on.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about with the Scooby-Doo animation. It turns into like that. Yeah. And then there's worse than this.
Yeah. They got real weird with it.
Fucking dumb.
It's fucking
It looks like a Family
gross.
Guy episode.
It's
there was also
Scooby-Doo.
an Addams Family cartoon.
It was okay.
It was all right.
It was all right.
God.
Another one that immediately jumps into my head, and this was probably toward like my end of watching cartoons, but Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, that is a fucking amazing show.
That should be like on Criterion Collection.
It definitely fucking should. Freaky Fred is an amazing episode.
That like
the Tower of Dr. Jolost. I quote that all the time, especially at work. No one gets it though. When they're all trying to get in the elevator, like, you should have taken the stairs. It's faster.
You did that to me the other day. I was like, you slob motherfucker. I always loved that show because it was just creepy, even in its design, because there's always like, whenever the show starts, it's just their house in the middle of nothing.
Yeah.
It's dark. You hear shit like rustling around and like fucking tumbleweeds going by, and it's just like, they're there in this house. And it's like, why would you be here?
There are a ton of like creepypastas about Courage.
Yeah.
I hate those TV show creepypastas.
No, my favorite one is the Rugrats one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and all of them are dead, and Angelica just sees them all.
It's like some fucking Binding of Isaac shit.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
Angelica.
No, Courage Courage the Cowardly Dog is extremely underrated. When people think about like early Cartoon Network stuff, they think of like Dexter's Lab, Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo.
Hey, Dexter's Lab was. Let's stick with horror.
Yeah,
but
Courage gets kind of forgotten, and the artwork was good. The
everything about the show is fantastic. I am mad because I tried to get all of it on DVD, but it's like I can only get season 1 so far.
I remember there was the one episode that stuck out in my mind a lot, that there was like an alien that came down and was replicating people, and it got the guy first, Eustace first. And like Courage had this whole thing in his head where he's like, do I really want to save this guy?
yeah.
Like, because all he does is call me stupid all the time.
Yeah.
So, but then he started going at, was it Mabel? Was that her name? Or what was the fucking, I can't remember now. No, I honestly can't.
He was in the middle of nowhere with his owner.
I can't remember the.
I think it's Mabel.
It's not Mabel.
I can't remember her name. Do you know it? Will you please help me?
It starts with an M.
Oh, God damn it. Never mind. Marion? No. I don't fucking
Has an L in it. It's not Mabel, though.
Anyway, he gets taken by the alien. And
she.
No, he gets it. He gets it first. And then, like, Courage is like, I don't know if I'm going to help. Like, he had this whole thing about, I don't know if I want to really help him. And then he starts, like, trying to get, with her again, like, oh, we should go do this. We go over here. And he's like, no, stop. Like, I like her.
Muriel. Saved by Muriel.
Okay. Was it really that fucking hard?
No, but I just...
All right. The next time you can't remember an actor or a show or a book or whatever, I'm not going to help you.
Please don't.
Good.
I want to suffer.
Good.
Like G did.
Yeah, because that's what I want. Is more. I want more fucking suffering.
Dead 2 fucking references.
And I actually liked not the real Ghostbusters, but I even liked the Filmation Ghostbusters show, even though it was really weird because the car talked and stuff. But like, I still liked it.
Would you consider the Men in Black in this category? Because I really enjoyed that show.
You could.
I remember one episode that sticks out very well in my mind is the one where Jay gets that alien that's a symbiote, and like they're both basically at the end of the episode dying because if he is not connected to the alien's not connected to a person, it slowly dies. He was attacked by somebody, so he's dying. She just gets real bad. It's actually a really dramatic episode.
I also remember it wasn't like a series, but there was like an animated version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde that they played on Nickelodeon sometimes.
What?
And it was actually like pretty dark.
If you want to do that, then the fucking Garfield Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was... Oh, shit.
I don't know. I always watch the Halloween Peanuts movie every year, so...
A Great Pumpkin?
Or the short, essentially. I don't know anybody would call it a movie. It's like about as long as an Aqua Teen Hunger Force episode, but...
It's a half hour, I think, right?
I was gonna say, it can't be 15 minutes. 15 minutes, man.
Well, it's only 15 minutes, man. They're pushing commercials in there, though, because it's in a half-hour time slot.
Okay, well, then maybe it is. I don't know.
No, The Great Pumpkin's good.
It got its atmosphere right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
More about atmosphere, I guess.
As far as Peanut stuff goes, Great Pumpkin and the Peanuts Christmas special, they're both great.
Oh. This goes back to, and I guess you can consider...
25 minutes.
Okay, you can consider this animation as well, but last episode we talked about things that we thought were overrated, and I'm going to throw Nightmare Before Christmas in there.
My friend Corinne loves that movie to death.
It's not that good.
It's okay.
It's all right.
It's not unwatchable, but it's certainly not worthy of the over-merchandising of the cult following that's going on with it. Like,
I understand that, but you want to go into that whole Tim Burton nest of fucking bees? Corpse Bride, man.
Corpse Bride? Yeah.
Corpse Bride sucked ass.
I wouldn't say it sucked ass. It just doesn't deserve the attention it got.
It's there.
I think it was one of the worst of his works.
I really do. Of his works.
One of. It's.
You hate Tim Burton.
I didn't used to. I do. Yeah. I do now.
Yeah.
When you make an Alice in Wonderland remake and you have fucking Mad Hatter breakdancing, like I fucking hate you.
Oh God.
What? Now I know about this. I never saw the movie. Stop ruining my life.
Yeah.
It's fucking killing me.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot more cartoons I'm missing.
Yeah, and there's cartoons that weren't necessarily horror, but had horror episodes. Like there were horror-themed episodes of, like, Adventure Time.
I mean, before we leave, Treehouse of Horror every time.
Well, sure, yeah.
I think that's
Not every time, man.
Currently,
seasons.
I think that's the only time Simpsons is good currently is when they do the Treehouse of Horror.
Because, like,
episodes.
seasons 1 through, I think I'd say 8. Fantastic Treehouse of Horrors.
Yeah.
Fantastic Treehouse of Horrors. But then it just...
I just always think of, I'll work and no play, make Homer something.
Go crazy?
Don't mind if I do.
That is a great fucking episode. I was looking for that specific box set so that I could watch that alone. Like, even the rest of the season is really good, but just that episode alone.
And then the one with
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And the one with the donut that was cursed.
Oh no,
Yeah.
he sold his soul for the donut. Yeah. He didn't want to finish it, but then he goes to the fridge and it's like, Daddy's soul donut, don't eat, and he eats it. And he's on trial, and they find out he sold his soul to Marge.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I like when they did the Nightmare on Elm Street one with Willie.
Oh yeah. Don't touch Willie. That's a good advice.
Also, going back to the Shining one where it was like Willie was in that too because he was the groundskeeper that helped. It's like, oh, you got the shinning. You're like, oh, you mean Shining? Shh, don't you want to get sued?
Yeah.
I'll come to save the Lord of you. I was like, flip, I'm dead now.
You guys in all three of those
White axe. Yeah. He's like, oh, really?
Oh, not again.
Yeah. Yeah, those were good. I had a DVD of that stuff around. It was like a collection of the tree houses, but I don't know where it is anymore. It disappeared into the void of no return.
Treehouse of Horror, man. It reclaimed what was its.
It went right back to the $5 bin at Walmart when I originally found it. Okay, well, guys, I think that will end our spooktacular episode this time around. So, as always, annotations down below of all the places you can find us and get in contact with us and watch all of our content. And thank you so much for watching and for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.